Hey guys, welcome back to Hike Oregon. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how to properly store your bear canister when backpacking in the backcountry. If you are new here, welcome to the Hike Oregon family. I make hiking and backpacking vlogs as well as gear reviews and just general tips and tricks videos to help you become a more confident hiker and backpacker. If you enjoy content like that, click that red subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are notified every time I make a new video. And if you want more content from me, you can always support me over on Patreon, where for as little as just $1, you get 2 extra videos a month. Okay, let's get into the video. When backpacking in bear country, it is essential that you properly store your food. This is for your own safety as well as the bear's safety. When bears get into human food, they now link humans with delicious food. They will continue coming back to various backcountry camps, so it's essential that you are vigilant about your food and your food storage and trash storage when you're backpacking in bear country. Now, in some places, for example, like Yosemite National Park, it is mandatory, it is required that you backpack with a bear canister. There are numerous bear storage devices. However, in places like Yosemite, it is actually required that you take a bear canister. So in this video, I'm going to go over some tips to help you store your canister properly when you are at camp in the backcountry. A short little story for you. Last year, I went backpacking on the Wild Rogue Loop here in Oregon, and we had an incident with a bear. We stored our canisters, you know, the proper distance away from our camp, the proper distance away from where we ate, proper distance away from water sources. Everything was proper. However, we did not secure our canisters, and the bear actually made away with one of our canisters. We are assuming he rolled it somewhere and had fun trying to get it open. So that situation is what prompted the idea for this video, because I was researching some better ways to store your canister. So before I go into any of the storage, I just wanted to show you the canister that I have here. It's the BV500. It's the bigger canister that Bear Vault makes, and I chose the bigger one because I have backpacked in the Sierras a few times, and the places I went, one of them was in Yosemite and the other was in Sequoia National Park, and both of those places do require bear canisters. So I had to pack 6 days worth of food. You also have to pack your toiletries in here. When you think about packing 6 days of food as well as your toiletries and your trash, the big one is definitely the way to go. Now, if you know that you're never going to be taking more than like 3 days worth of food, the smaller one is definitely totally suitable, and it's much easier actually to get in your backpack. There are some different types of bear canisters. I will make sure to link them below. There's also things like Ursack and OPSAC and stuff like that, which is great to use for other types of backpacking. However, if you are in an area where a canister is required, it is actually the canister that's required. You can't take an Ursack or anything like that. That would not be allowed. Okay, so let's get into some storage tips. Okay, so you are going to want to store your canister about 100 yards away from your camp, and also away from the area that you were eating at. So when we're eating in the backcountry, you eat, little bits of food fall, or like you put the seasoning packet into your ramen, a little bit of seasoning gets on the ground. So that place where you just ate now smells like food to the bear. So the bear is probably going to go there first and sniff around and stuff like that. So you're going to want to eat away from camp, and then put all your food and all your toiletries and all your smellables. That includes chapstick, that includes sunscreen, that includes any sort of gum or candy or anything. everything that smells goes in your bear canister for the night. Then you're going to take your canister and place it in a different location about 100 yards from your tent. And if you're in an area where you know there's been a lot of bear activity and bears are really prevalent, maybe even consider storing it downwind from your camp. The next tip I have for you is make sure you place your canister in some areas where there's like natural barriers. So when we stored our canisters on the Wild Rogue Loop, we had about 3 or 4 trees that kind of made a hollow, and we put all the canisters in that hollow. A bear just kind of scooped it and lifted it out of that hollow, so that didn't really work very well. Next time I would choose something like maybe a hollowed out log to put the canisters in, maybe if you see a place where there's rocks that you can put the canister in and then maybe place another rock over it so that the bear is not just grabbing and rolling your canister away. That's really what you're trying to prevent. The bear isn't gonna like hold the canister and walk away. It's gonna like claw at it, and then once it rolls, the bear can roll it easily with its nose off into the forest and down a hill, right? So try to prevent that. If there are rocks, place rocks around it. If there's a deep hollow, maybe put it in the hollow and put some rocks on top of it. Maybe put it in a log. The place we were camped actually had like an old homestead. We probably should have found like an old drum or tub or something and put all the canisters in there. We just were not aware that this bear was so aggressive towards the canisters. So just keep that in mind. You're gonna want to put the canister somewhere where it can't be rolled away. And if you really want to be secure about it, you can take some paracord and tie the canister to a tree or a rock, or even if you have a few canisters, maybe some of the smaller canisters, you could have a big bag and bear hang the canisters up in a tree. That is probably the safest thing. However, the places that I backpack, that's generally not very feasible because of the size of the trees and the branches. A lot of the time in the Sierras, there are bear lockers in the popular camp areas. So that's really helpful. Then you don't have to worry about storing your canister somewhere. You just put it in the locker. However, they're definitely not everywhere. So a little tip we were told by some experienced hikers from the area was when you're storing your canister, put some things on top of it that if the canister was messed with, it would make noise. So what we did a lot of the time was we put our metal cook pots, and my friend Holly had a tin cup, and she would put the tin cup on top of the cook pot, and then maybe even some rocks on top of that. And we would put all of that on the canisters. So that way, if the canisters were messed with in the middle of the night, we would hear loud clanging. At that point, we could, from our tents, bang on stuff or blow the air horn that we had and hopefully scare the bear away. That is really what you want to do. If you see a bear messing with your canister, the goal is to not have them associate something positive with this food smell and humans. So you want to make their experience as negative as possible. Really try to scare them away the best you can. A lot of national parks, especially in California, don't allow bear spray, so you can't have bear spray, but we did have an air horn. So those are really loud. They work well. You can also clap your hands. Obviously, you're not going to have your cook pot. Usually, I would recommend clanging on your cook pot, which you can do if a bear is approaching you while you're eating. That has happened to us as well. Clap your hands, yell, make yourself big. Generally, if everyone is following the rules, the bear will be scared enough and the bear will retreat. If you have any tips and tricks about bear canisters, please comment below. And if you don't already, go ahead and follow me over on Instagram. That's where I post all of my recent hiking and backpacking adventures. And if you want to hike and backpack here in this amazing state of Oregon, check out my website, hikeoregon.net, and you'll find tons of information there, as well as get access to all of the hiking guidebooks that I've written over the years. Thank you so much for watching this quick video, and I will catch you on the next adventure.